Well, I want
Yeah.
to welcome you guys. This is Lord Centipede off of Morbid and Miserable Records. They got a brand new album coming out on Friday. Centipede II, The Electric Boogaloo. What a cool name. But I want to welcome you guys to the Distorted Dialogue podcast. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
man,
having us.
thanks.
So tell me all about The Electric Boogaloo. I love it. I listened to it several times. Spun it a couple more last night. Really like it, man. It's gritty and raw and just what I think thrash should be, you know?
Yeah. Thanks, man. Uh, yeah, I mean, so this album kind of came about over a few years. It took us a while to actually finish it all up. We weren't in a hurry, so we were a band. Like we formed in 2011,
Oh, wow.
and at 2014 we split up. We took a break, split up. I don't think we knew or thought that we were necessarily going to get back together. But a little bit in like 2021, we started talking. We were like, "Hey, we should get back together and do this thing." And we got together. Samir had some new songs, or some new song ideas, some riffs, and it just kind of felt like getting back on a bike. We were pretty tight almost from the beginning, and it felt really good. It felt very organic and natural, and and we just took our time. It's only 5 songs, right? But we just kind of did not feel, there wasn't a pressure to rush it. Our good buddy Jeff, who I was in a band with before, Boobach, he was recording it for us, and it was just a very easy, chill thing. And it's not like we were like Tool taking 11 years to put out a new album or something like that. We just kind of we broke up, got back together, took our time, just recording these 5 tunes and just having fun with it.
But that's I think that's important in music. The no pressure, having fun. I hear so many people pressuring themselves, or the labels get pressure on them to put out more music. And I think at that point it's not fun. I think, the art side of it should be somewhat enjoyable and pleasurable
Mhm.
too,
Yeah, you want to?
Go for it.
I was just gonna say, like, he and I mean, like, we were at a different point in our lives too, where we both just became kind of like single dads, going into COVID or during COVID. So that kind of also made it more of like the no pressure sort of thing because like our time is limited now in certain ways that it wasn't before. I think when we originally started, and even with like other bands or projects that I was working on, it seemed like, yeah, like this is I have this other priority going on that like needs more attention right now, and yeah, for this to be fun, I mean, it's like, yeah, like no pressure. It's just something for us to hang out and do, like that sort of thing.
We had one of the biggest things we had when we came back was we need to do this for fun. And
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
stops being fun, then it's really not worth it, especially, the gray hair and everything else, being guys a little bit older. What are you spending your time on? And as long as we're all together and having a blast, then it's worth it. And this absolutely is. There's not been a time, me personally, where I've been like, I don't really want to do this. I
Yeah.
think this is a blast. This is an outlet for all of us, and we love it.
And
And as far as the Electric Boogaloo, Centipede II Electric Boogaloo, it's just for fun. It's like an homage to the movie Breakin' 2 Electric
okay.
Boogaloo. So it's just kind of, we're just being goofy asses like we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, I think, and I was like telling Ian when we like, we're not going to have that many chances to release an album or recording with 2 Electric Boogaloo at the end of it. So like you might as well take advantage of it. That like the opportunity's here to do it. So let's just do it and be goofy.
Sure. But do you think maybe like, and I've talked to a lot of bands that have like either lost momentum during COVID or newly formed during COVID because they had more time on their hands. Do you think that maybe the long period of break plus the no pressure of COVID? Because it didn't hit me till now, but I started thinking like a lot of new bands are probably like, we got to get marketing out there, we got to get shows out there, we got to get our face out there. And I think that that might add a lot of pressure. Whereas in COVID, you couldn't do any of those things, even if you wanted to. And so, like, you were kind of forced to just go into music and forced to come out that way, you know? It might have made it slightly easier. I don't know.
I think we all do this for the love of it, as opposed to a drive that we're going to be this monster touring act that does this for the rest of our lives. As much as we would actually love that, but we're kind of, I don't know if we're past that point.
Yeah,
Me personally, I don't care if I'm playing to a room of nobody. I'm on stage with two of my really good friends and we're doing something together. And that is ultimately why I get out of bed and do this.
And I think that chemistry comes through on Centipede II Electric Boogaloo. I think like there's a lot of fun in there and there's a lot of chemistry. And while they are like rip roaring racing thrash, that's just, I love it. But you can tell that there's like a good chemistry and not each instrument isn't segmented from each other. You guys have like a good feel and like a good communication.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah, appreciate that. I mean, I think that just comes down to the mix and just all of us, discussing like how we wanted everything to fit in there. But I think as far as like us playing together, no, I think we're tighter than we originally started out. We play so much tighter now, and we're so much in tune with. I think there's like one rehearsal that we had. We were just jamming, and I think like Justin and I, we were just messing around, and at one point we kind of just got in sync and landed at the same point that like we were going to slow down. We just instinctually knew that it was like a slow down, part. And it's just like moments like that where we're just so in sync and in tune with each other and how we play, it's just, we're just so much tighter and it just becomes a lot easier to do that. But yeah, I mean, again, just I think that the current like theme or whatever here is that like we're doing this for fun. And I mean, like when it comes to the pressure of like playing shows and doing all that, like we do our like 4 shows a year. I think that there was like
the quarterly program.
Yeah, once things started opening up in COVID, we just did like our 4 shows a year and met that quota, and then we were like, okay, we don't really need to like play anymore.
Quarterly.
Yeah.
But a contractual obligation.
But I think, now putting this out, we're like, yeah, well, we're going to have to probably play a little bit more, but sell some merch, but
Well, here's the other thing. And I have two, like, I have a teenager and then I have like an 11-year-old. And I started this and I was like, man, this is time consuming and it's hard as a family and a dad, taxiing. And so I kind of look at this as like a long-term thing. So like I'm trying to set myself up for something later after they're like, hey, dad, we're done with you. And so then I have something to do. And I think it's awesome that you guys got back together, man. I'm so glad, because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten this kick-ass album,
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Well, thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean, we just actually recorded something last weekend, so it's like, we're not, I guess we're not slowing down as far as like coming up with more ideas or like wanting to keep going. But I mean, I hear what you're saying about, yeah, I mean, it's just like planting the seeds now, and then when the time comes when your kids are going to want more time away, or you're not going to need that to be around as much. It's like you have this outlet, or you have this thing to do that'll take up more of your time.
And you have like, I was trying to get to the point, but I missed it. That it's probably got to be difficult to get 3 dudes together in a room or to record, especially when you got parenting issues. And I'm sure you guys have like regular jobs and lives. And so it has to be just difficult in and of itself for you guys to either, practice. So like booking a tour, nationwide tour is going to be like real hard for you guys, But that's great that you're approaching it with the fun attitude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think like a small little, 3 or 4 day, road warrior Midwest thing would be completely out of the picture or anything like that. We just would need to do a little more planning, But
Sure.
like, I mean, but as far as,
30 shows across.
I think that's kind of out of the picture for us. I'm in a new band now, and we're kind of in the phase of what you're talking about. Okay, we got to get ourselves out there. We got to play gigs. Got to do all this, and it's fun and it's exciting. But this is like,
So what's
really
that band called? Just let's get a little plug in there.
Yeah. What's that?
What's that band called?
Tongue is the name of that band.
Like spelled like your tongue in your mouth?
Yeah, tongue in your mouth. Yep. So
okay.
We just recorded 2, and it's just in the final stages of mixing. So we're gonna have a demo out there. We're definitely more of a punk leaning band, but like
it's great.
But punk hardcore, like crust hardcore, but we have some elements of like doom in there and like.
You guys have some pretty melodic stuff in there. Your guitar player writes some really interesting riffs.
Yeah. Shit, man, send it over. I'd love to listen to it.
When it's ready to go, I will for sure.
Of course, man. Don't forget me. So, what's it like being on Morbid and Miserable with Brandon? I interviewed him, and what a cool dude he is, man. And he has, I think, the right vision for music as a record label, owner.
I mean, I haven't worked much with Brandon. I've played with his bands, in the past, and I've just known the guy for years because of where we just recorded down in Toledo, like where we just did our fun thing over the weekend last weekend. He's based in Toledo, and the guy who runs the studio, he knows the people in the heavy music scene down there. So that's some way roundabout. That's how I ended up crossing paths with the dude. And yeah, just him doing Morbid and Miserable is he's doing the thing, man. He loves it. He's passionate about it. He really cares about just bringing good music to people and he's just all about it because he loves it. The guy isn't trying to, he's not trying to make bank or anything like that. So
yeah. I was going to say I definitely have a history with him because I met him in Toledo when I played with my other band, Wizard Union. We were like a stoner doom sludge band. He came out to see us, and he was buying merch and talking to me, and then we kind of like had a ongoing. I'd see him after that. He'd keep on coming to our shows or whatever, and I'd keep talking to him. And then eventually he and I had a blog going called Super Dank Metal Jams.
Okay.
And so we were both like writing reviews, and that was going for a while. And then I think around COVID, it like stopped. We just kind of we're like, yeah, there's like the world's ending right now. So, I mean, I'm kind of like not interested in doing this at this point or whatever. But yeah, it was like, we were at we were playing in Toledo again as Lord Centipede, and then he was there, and then I was just like, hey, we got this recording coming up. I know you're doing this, new thing with Morbid Miserable. Is there any way, we could make this happen? And then it did. So, but yeah, I mean, he and I have known Brandon for years just because of like him going to shows and just being like a real, he's definitely devoted to the cause, as far as like, going to shows and buying merch and showing support for bands. And I think this, record label is an extension of all that. Is like, he just loves it so much that he just wants to like support these bands and put this out there. Yeah. I mean,
I think the stuff he puts out too, it's all killer stuff. So he has like a good ear for, quality too. So almost every album he puts out, I'm just sold on immediately. It's not, I haven't had anything like light and fluffy or, anything that I would turn away. I really enjoy his stuff. So you guys are out of Ohio then?
No.
Michigan, Ann Arbor, Ypsi area.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a big I'm a U of M fan, man.
Right on. I work. That's my employer. So
you might not be as big of a fan,
No.
I just avoid when the games are to avoid downtown.
Yeah.
I was in the Marines for a while. My roommate was in the Marines. he was from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I went back there a couple times. Michigan's different. You guys get some snow, man. Like,
This year
Yeah.
was pretty rough. I'm gonna refill my coffee. You
go
guys,
ahead. You guys do your
Yeah,
thing.
Grand Rapids is its own. The west side of the state's its own little animal. It's different from
Right.
it's different from the east side of the state.
Okay. So
Kind of
how far are you guys then from Toledo? Because you're
about
right
45
above
minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like hours.
No,
Nah.
no, we're it's like southern Michigan. So they call it the biggest area of Michigan is the southeast.
Sure.
We're just a bit west of that. It's almost straight above Toledo. It's about 45 minutes.
Okay. So you guys are closer to like just as close to Detroit too, maybe like 45 minutes to
Yeah.
It's
A little
about
closer.
the same.
Yeah, about the same.
yeah.
Yeah, that's two nice scenes. They both have great music scenes coming
For sure.
out.
I prefer
Yeah.
the Toledo scene better. The people are great.
There's a lot of good bands coming out of Toledo. I don't know if they're out of Toledo, but I just interviewed and I watched their show. They opened for Shai Hulud. Samara. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Samara. But I'll send it over to you guys. I think they're out of Toledo.
Yeah.
Right on.
There's a lot of good bands out of Toledo. I gotta say though, there are a lot of great bands out of right here in Ypsilanti and in Ann Arbor, and you know there and Detroit. It's Detroit. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely a lot going on out there. We just haven't played out there as much since we got back together. But we just had our first Detroit area show last month, and it was fun. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there again. There are a lot of great bands in Detroit as well.
There's a nice little, I call it the Rust Belt of thrash. It starts up in like Minnesota and it just kind of like works its way over to like Philadelphia. And it's like you could just travel that I-70 corridor and just like break your neck from band to band. And it's I really like that, well, I live in Pittsburgh, so I'm really excited that it's right through me,
Yeah, you're close, man. You're only about 4.5 hours away. So
yeah, that'd be a great Lord Centipede tour trip. I would love that.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is probably about as far as we'd be willing to go. But,
Yeah, I have family there too, so that works.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, now your accent makes sense to me because I was just like, where are you from? Like, where am I picking this up at? This accent that you have, and I'm like, oh, it's the Pennsylvania accent.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
My kid was just making fun of me last night, but I traveled a lot. And when I was in the Marines, my whole unit was from New England. So I picked up like a little bit of like a Boston, New England accent. And it kind of like fucks up my Pittsburgh accent, which I don't know. Whatever. I'm unique, like whatever.
It was fun. We played there once in my old band Nightbringer with we were touring with a couple of Japanese hardcore bands.
Oh, cool.
We stopped there once and it was a great town. Like everybody went nuts. The show was great. It was at this little, like, I think it was a former biker bar over on the west side of town. I don't know. This was at least 10, 15 years ago. So
yeah.
It's cool.
We're an upcoming scene. We have this her name's Shy Kennedy. She's a promoter who runs Black Seed Productions, and she's also the lead singer of a funeral doom band called Funerals. And I was introduced to her by Thunderbird Divine's Eric Kaplan. And from there on, she's just booked band after band of killer metal. And she throws a nice little doom stoner rock festival. Well, this year she had more like thrash and ringworm and Crip Sermon and stuff like that there. But it's a nice little festival she does every fall called the Descendants of Crom. And I'm always trying to like...
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah,
I mean, we love Doom too. We're like now. I think Boogaloo is probably it's a mostly a thrash album, but like we definitely have Doom elements. Our first album has a couple of just pretty much straight Doom songs.
Yeah.
So we like to incorporate that. Just like High on Fire incorporates, the sludginess into fast thrashing, you know what I mean? Like it's, those,
Yeah. I just think it's just, we just love Sabbath. I don't know. I don't think it like
Just variations of
Melvin's.
Yeah, Melvin, Sabbath. I mean, it's like, we just like certain things and I think it comes through.
So is that what you guys mostly listen to? Just like Sabbath, Melvin, Sludgy Doom?
Yeah.
Well,
Everything under the sun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just think there's the elements that you probably hear that are coming out. There's like the hardcore D beat stuff. So that's like part of it is that, we're into like all sorts of hardcore punk. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it's, Dead Kennedys, Bad Brains, that sort of stuff. And then you get into the sort of sludgy doom stuff with, going back all the way to Sabbath and then, Melvins. And then we have the love of thrash, with, even I think even like bands like Suicidal Tendencies or DRI or SOD, where, like stuff like that too. I think
Anthrax.
Anthrax and
did
the
good,
Big Four,
Yeah, they did the good crossover. I mean, thrash came from hardcore, and came from Sabbath. You know what I mean? It's like it's like they took the elements of hardcore punk and where metal was going and combined it into a really unique thing.
You guys have like a really unique sound. That's why I asked. Like I hear the punk in there a lot, especially like when you said like Dead Kennedys and stuff like that. Which, by the way, HR just announced a tour. I think I saw that yesterday from Bad Brains, and I was like, I don't know if I'd go see that now. Is he too old, or what's it gonna be
Reggae.
like?
It's reggae.
Is it?
Yeah, it's reggae. Actually, a cat from Detroit. Actually, two cats from Detroit that I know pretty well, and that we've played with their bands in the future. Phil Warren, I don't know if he's playing drums with HR this time around, but cat from Detroit, awesome drummer. I know that he played several shows as HR's drummer, and then Neil Patterson. I know he was driving. He was like driving him around when he came to town. He was driving him around and, like the door driver. But if I remember correctly, he also sat in on a couple songs on bass or guitar. I'm not totally sure, but
yeah. I like all those same influences, and that's probably why I love your album. Prior to me, I started this channel like 2 years and a couple months ago, and I was basically like a thrash and a punk dude, and that's it. And like a little bit of hardcore and stuff like that, some death metal. But now, like, I really opened up into like some doom and stoner, and even some power metal and stuff like that. Just discovering all these promos and these underground bands have been such a joy to me. And it's like the albums like Electric Boogaloo too. Like to you guys, you're like, oh, it's only 5 songs, but it's like a half hour of my life that I could just like let loose and, just blow off energy and have some fun. And it's great sounds, man. I hope a lot of people check you guys out.
That's the reaction we were going for, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No, I mean, I think outside of us having fun is that, once it's out there in the world, I hope it helps make things better in certain ways. I'm not thinking that it'll change things too much, but
make people's lives better.
Make 30 minutes of your day or like however long you need to listen to it, makes it a little bit better. And I think same thing with playing shows. It's just an outlet for people to come see us. And if it makes their day a little bit better, to come have fun and party with us or whatever, then that's great. I'm not expecting, too much more from that,
Yeah. And it's a great sound to like cultivate energy too. It's not like it's like HR's reggae or anything that's like slow and dismissive. Like it's just high octane in your face, like let's go. And that's what I'm looking for from metal, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, for sure. No, appreciate that.
Yeah. So do you guys doing like a record release party for this? That seems to be a popular thing. Where's it at and where can people get this at?
This Friday, anybody locally, or if you want to drive hours and hours away to
stay up way too late in interesting part of town.
But it's this weekend at the Regal Beagle in Ypsilanti, which is a great little local dive bar that just hosts all sorts of, extreme music. And they have like hip hop and stuff going on too, but they definitely, have a lot of punk and metal bands, and there'll be grindcore bands and death metal bands, and they get touring bands a lot, like they'll even get some pretty big names in there occasionally, you know what I mean? And this place is small, so, you just pack it out. Good, grubby little Ipsy dive bar. And the bands playing with us are Steve Harvey Oswald.
Oh, wow. That's a cool name.
Yeah. So they're fun. They're a hardcore punk band that's just definitely humorous, sarcastic, just kind of like, they don't take themselves seriously one bit, and they're just having fun, and they rock. Blind Haven, who is somebody that is definitely well associated with the Toledo scene. They're like from very, very southern Michigan, and the closest big town to them where they come from, Blissfield, is Toledo, and they're essentially from the Toledo scene, kind of, you could say. But Sludge, just really just angry, fucking just brooding, destructive sludge.
Yeah, in the vein of like Crowbar, like something like that.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
And then Blowhole, they're kind of all over the place, but they're metal, they're punk, they're high octane. Again, a band that doesn't take themselves too seriously. They're just having a lot of fun. They have, goofy, some goofy names and for their songs, and but they rip, and just a couple of the members of that band are key, honestly, to, they're like also promoters in the area, like the drummer Austin, and he's in the grindcore band Girth as well. We love those guys. And so they're just a lot of fun. Austin does a lot to cultivate the Ipsy music scene. He's part of this little local promotion company called Weewa Productions, and they do a lot of the booking at the Regal Beagle. Just lots of punk bands, lots of metal bands, and it's cool. And sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much.
Yeah. You know more than things. I just say Austin's a solid human being overall. But
yeah. I might reach out to him, and I'm curious now. I wrote down a lot of these bands. I'm definitely going to look them up and maybe put the Toledo Ipsy scene on the map, and try to get some eyes on you guys,
Another band we just recorded with down is Lake Bottom Recording House in Toledo. The guy who runs it, he started a band called VX.
Just 2 letters?
Just VX.
Okay.
They are on Bandcamp and some other things. But hardcore kind of, I don't know, how would you describe them? They're good. You guys have the words better on that stuff.
I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, no, it's hardcore. I mean, I just think it, there's like some chuggy moments. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll check them out, man. I'll check them out. As long as they're not hair metal. I'm not a big hair metal dude. Or power metal.
Yeah. It's angry music.
Yes,
so
it's very angry. Yes.
Yeah. So when you guys sit down to write, is it like do you guys all get in a room and write? Because or do you send you write?
We are fortunate to have a riff machine right here.
Okay.
They constantly come out of him, and he has to put them somewhere. And so what we've been organic pretty much with starting this. Ever since we started, he'll come up with the song structure, and then we'll get together, and I'll throw ideas in, Justin will throw ideas in, and we'll kind of stone soup it or just start beating on it until it's something that all of us go, okay, that's a cool song. Yeah. And then at the end, he'll come up with lyrics of some kind because it sounds cool right there.
Yeah.
I can't speak for Samir, but it always seems like, that's not an afterthought, but like the very last thing, the last thing he's worrying about, and it's what he's probably worried about the least, is the vocals and what he comes up with,
But I guess as a guitarist, that's where you would start with your writing, right? Like you're just riff in mind.
Well, I think there's some things that came up this past weekend with recording. Is that yeah? No, I'm always writing. I'm always staying up at night. You're spending like 15, 30 minutes just like turning on the amp and recording whatever comes out. And then if it's something that I can use, I'll bring it up to them. But a lot of times too, if we're in the environment or we're in the moment and just playing, that seems to be like sometimes the best place to come up with stuff because then I'll have the guitar in my hands already. They'll be around me. And then suddenly I just start playing something and then I could see their reactions and they're like, oh, that's sweet. And then I'm like, okay, like let's record that and save that for later and see if we could do something with it. And then as far as the lyrics go, yeah, I mean, I know that there's a lot of other people. I think Bowie's definitely one of them. He was also kind of like a last minute, like, this is the last thing that I worry about, sort of thing. Even though it seems to be kind of like a big part of like his music, but for me, it's it's like almost like the pressure motivation for me and it's just like a lot. That's just kind of how my brain works. Is that it has to get, it's like the cramming for a test or whatever. It's like you gotta wait till the very last moment, to get it all out and then settle on what it's going to be. And I think that that's what happened with this last recording we did last weekend, where it was like I gave myself the time to do it, but then it was like no, it was like a couple days before. Like I had the structure down to the pattern that I wanted, but as far as like coming up with the words, it was just like no, it's going to happen once it gets to the last minute, and then I'm going to be like, no, this is going to have to be it. This is it. That you don't have any other choice. You're about to record it. Like these are the lyrics now.
Yeah, you were definitely sitting there with the pad of paper whilst walking into the booth. So
Yeah.
Like, did you stop at the store and pick up a notebook on your way, or like?
No, I have plenty of notebooks at home, but it was just more like like because the song that I think in question here was about the movie RoboCop. So it was like, well, how much of it is it just going to be me like talking about the movie, or just stuff like that? And I think it just I was sitting there watching it, and it just like the movie, and it just came to me while I was watching it, like, no, it's going to be about this. It's just going to be this. This is what I'm going to say. And then once I get that all, organized, then once I'm in the studio, because I can practice at home and like try to say it out loud and see if it works. But then when you're actually recording it, it's just like you could tell what's working and what's not. And there's actually stuff on Electric Boogaloo too, where I was recording it at that moment and I had to go do retakes because I was like, these words are not working with the flow or the gelling of it. And I think a lot of times too, when we're doing live shows, it's like I'm almost using that as kind of like a canvas to throw ideas around with the lyrics and just kind of make things up on the spot to see like what works and what doesn't. So it's not like it's always set in stone. And I think it's the same with our music too, where it can change based on how we're playing it live too.
It would drive a lot of it. Luckily, the bands that I've been in haven't really cared that much, but it can drive a lot of people crazy that I don't play shit the same way, like almost ever, from one set to the next, from one time to the next. Of course there are some certain set beats, but I play my fills differently. I'll change the beats up a little bit, like never the tempo, but like I just never play the same thing twice.
So that sounds like, so if somebody's a fan of Lord Centipede, you guys should be like Fish. They should just travel with you guys on the road and maybe have like a whole caravan of Lord Centipede followers.
They wouldn't be going very far.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to noodle really well, and and I'll get jazzy. And
no, I've decided I'm going to do all the solos as bass solos now.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I hate to cut this short. I'm running out of time and I don't want us to get cut off. But I had a blast, man, and thanks for talking about this kick-ass album. Centipede II, The Electric Boogaloo. People need to go out and pick it up on Morbid and Miserable Records.
and also Weird Bird Records. So Brandon, he is putting it out CD and cassette, and then Weird Bird Records, a newly
Okay.
founded label. He runs a a record store here in Ypsilanti, but has recently started up a label. He's putting it out on vinyl. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I guess
Or
I'm gonna have to. I guess I'm gonna have to contact him to get a copy.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I again thank you guys for swinging by, taking time out of your day. It's hard to get three dads together in a room, you know.
Yeah. Well, just so happens that we're about to practice, so
Yeah.
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 Well, thanks again, and.